You are logged on to the Computer Corner Show, now available from both our website at www.compcorner.com and on YouTube for your convenience. I'm your host, Phil Shortell, the lead instructor at Computer Corner in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And with me here today are my co-hosts, Carol and Joe Petronovich, the owners of Computer Corner. And good day to you both.
Good day, everyone.
Hey, if your hard disk is no longer hardy, your heartbleed needs healing, or your homepage got hijacked, hope you know what all those things are. But if you don't, keep listening to our podcast and go back and get some of the others, and you'll get all kinds of information that you will find useful, we hope. Since people can now listen to the Computer Corner Show from anywhere in the world and possibly beyond, we want to tell you a little bit about us.
Computer Corner is based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're located at 3101 Manal Northeast, a few blocks west of Carlisle, directly off I-25, where we have a lovely showroom
Indeed.
with lots of nice products in it. And we've been in business since 1983, which is 36 years.
That's
So
quite a while.
you don't have to do the math.
No, you don't have to do the math. Okay, Computer Corner was founded by Carol and Joe, and in addition to our retail store, we have state, local, and federal government contracts.
As our lead instructor, Phil is Computer Corner's software expert, and he's been a technology instructor for over 30 years now. But he also knows a whole lot about hardware, troubleshooting, internet security, all kinds of different things.
Carol manages all our government contracts and is the primary salesperson for the state of New Mexico, so she knows a lot about computer specs and products. And Joe is a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, or MCSE, and knows more technical information than anyone I know or ever hope to meet, I think.
We have a number of topics for you today, along with a little bit of computer trivia that we hope you'll find interesting and make your computer lives just a little bit better. But before we jump into our first topic, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast. If you have ideas for our show or questions afterwards, you can email us at corner@compcorner.com. That's CORNER at COMPCORNER.com. Those emails go directly to me, so please don't hesitate to contact us that way.
On to our topic, browser hijacking. We've talked a little about this before, but it's becoming more and more problematic. So we're going to touch on it again and talk about the symptoms that show up when your browser's been hacked or hijacked, how to prevent that, and then, of course, how to cure it if it happens.
First of all, let's talk about how this can happen. Websites can get hacked, or you could accidentally do a web search that pulls up a website that is intentionally malicious.
Or you might download new software, apps, or add-ons that are malicious. You do this without knowing it, of course.
Of course. One major symptom is that you get a full screen red or blue screen.
Or sometimes pink or purple. Who knows? It could be
anything.
anything.
That's for sure. Red and blue are the most common.
Most common, yes.
So the first major symptom is that you get this full screen of red or blue and a pop-up of some sort telling you that your computer's infected and you got to call tech support.
And they give you a number for that tech support.
Sure. Most everyone knows that this is a scam, but merely exiting out of this may not eliminate the hijack issue. So we're going to go into that a bit. But what are some of the less obvious symptoms?
Well, if your searches in your browser seem to be giving you some odd results or screens you've never really seen before or familiar with, like a listing of things unrelated to your search, that's a sure sign.
Sure. Another is just sluggishness when you're browsing. If your browser sessions are suddenly slow, something else may be launching in the background.
Another is that your browser start page has changed, or that new toolbars, bookmarks, or desktop shortcuts appear that you know you didn't add.
Right. And you might get redirects to sites that are not related to the site you were on or not what you clicked on. These are dangerous because they might actually look like your banking site or a web store that you're familiar with, but they might not be the real site.
Right. It's a crazy world out there. Be careful. First, a bit about prevention. Of course, you want to install good security software. We recommend Kaspersky Antivirus Protection along with two other programs, Hitman Pro and Malwarebytes. These three programs should be run at least once a week, and Kaspersky should be set to be running in the background at all time.
If you want to know more about those three products, I've actually written a blog about it. It's on our website, www.compcorner.com, and just click on the blog tab It's called the Tremendous Trio, and you'll learn more about Kaspersky, Hitman Pro, and Malwarebytes. Another preventative action to take is to download new software carefully. Don't just click, click, click without reading what you're clicking on. Often when you download one program, it will try to bring its buddy with it, and you may not want that.
No.
These may or may not be malicious, but it will definitely be annoying.
You may also want to get into your security settings on the browser or browsers you use, and I guess I should mention that most people who are professionals in computer have multiple browsers on their computer because not all websites appear to work the same way in all browsers. So we keep multiple browsers, and it's not a bad thing for the general user to do that as well.
We might want to say what the browsers are, just in case some of our listeners are not. They don't, maybe they're confused between their email provider and their browser.
Okay, a browser would be something like Internet Explorer, or on Windows 10, Microsoft Edge, or Chrome, or Firefox, or Safari.
Great.
And you want to see what the browser, whichever one you're using, what they recommend for top security. We don't want to make this too complicated or technical, but you'll want to get into your security settings and find the ActiveX section and set ActiveX controls to say prompt. That way, if anything is going to be invoked that uses ActiveX, you're going to be prompted to say, hey, do you want this to be allowed to run or not? So you have control over it.
You know, one of the nicest things, I like to make things simple. And if I have suspicion that I've been compromised on my browser, I will just reset it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Good
problem
point.
here becomes if you've got a lot of browser extensions, which
Right.
I have a couple of them if you've got programs that take care of those things. But when you're in trouble, just reset it, and that works. the
Yeah,
majority of the
and
time.
that's going to, how to do that is going to depend upon the particular browser, but it's always going to be in the browser settings. You'll always be able to find it. Depending upon which browser you're using, you may have to look a little harder than in other cases, in some other cases. But look for the settings. Usually the three dots or the three bars in the upper right corner lead you to open up a menu, and then in that menu you'll find settings.
So what if your browser does get hijacked? And before we continue, I just want to let everybody know my Google Chrome has been hacked a few times. So don't think it won't happen to you, even with security features.
Right, and keep in mind here too, we're three professionals sitting in this room. It happens to us too, folks. So if it happens to us, it is certainly possible it's going to happen to you.
And of course, right after that happens, I run Hitman Pro, I run Kaspersky, Hitman Pro, Malwarebytes, reboot my computer, go to my security settings, all kinds of different things.
And then walk 3 times around the block.
And wave a
Right,
chicken
you
over
don't
my
have to.
head.
You don't have to do that, but you do have to do those other things. You can open the add-ons manager of your browser and check all the add-ons, extensions, and plugins. If you find one that looks suspicious, like you have no idea what it does, you can disable it. Disable it means that it'll stop it running, and then if you find out that you did need it because it was something you wanted, just go back into the same place and say enable. Okay, if you find that it's not that serious, maybe your default search or home page has been hijacked. You can revert to the original browser settings, as we said, but if you're getting redirects to pages you didn't ask for or can't open certain sites that you have been able to before, problem is probably much more serious.
So if you need more help with that, of course, you can reach out to Computer Corner. And we gave our website address where you can email us. There's a contact place, but you can also email us at corner@compcorner.com. Now for a little bit of trivia.
Okay, all of us are familiar with the combination of 3 keys on your keyboard, Control, Alt, and Delete, basically to reboot your computer when all else fails.
A man by the name of David Bradley with IBM created the key combo before Microsoft started to incorporate it into DOS. This was during a time when IBM actually controlled most of the desktop computer market. Boy, have things changed.
Yeah, they have.
IBM has virtually no presence at all in that market now. It's mostly HP and Dell.
Anyway, Control Alt Delete was originally intended as a security feature to block against malware that would have attempted to intercept the username and password. Bill Gates wanted a single key for this purpose, but IBM denied his request, which is most definitely a good thing.
Oh, I totally agree, because a single key, you could easily hit that in error.
Yep.
I guess that would have been called reset.
Could be. So, yeah, a single key would definitely be a problem because you could actually lose your work.
Yeah.
If you don't have your work saved and you hit that key by accident, it would be gone. What a disaster that would be. So, another tidbit is that the 3-key combination was originally Control Alt Escape.
But now let's think about the 3-key requirement to prevent accidental invocation. It's not just good because it is 3 keys instead of 1. It is good because if you look at your keyboard, those specific 3 keys are located in such a fashion that it would be difficult for you, or your cat for that matter, which has happened to me, not Control Alt Delete, but the cat typing things and doing things.
Nice.
It's much harder to hit them accidentally, as 2 are on the left side of the keyboard and 1 is way off to the right. In other words, serious thought was involved in selecting which 3 keys were used.
You know, one of the things that's fallen away from favor, many of you will remember these, are keyboard templates.
Mm-hmm.
Used to buy them for different programs, different uses. There was one for all these different key combinations. Would just lay right on the top of whatever brand of keyboard you had. I guess they just don't make those anymore.
Well, part of that is because the keyboards have different shapes now, too, I think.
Yeah.
And it makes it much more complicated. I use an ergonomic keyboard, one that's kind of rounded and bent and separated in the middle.
So do I.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the reasons for it. But the other reason is it just got really complicated, and you found yourself switching templates all the time. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this week. Please join us again in 2 weeks when we'll be talking about a whole bunch of different topics to make your computer lives a bit easier. And we'll talk about mining rigs and cryptocurrency, since this is becoming, or continuing to become and getting even bigger, a very hot topic. If you want to be updated when a new show is posted, you can subscribe to our e-newsletter by going to our website at www.compcorner.com.
And when you do subscribe to our e-newsletter, you get a digital coupon for a free diagnostic exam for your computer, of course, in the Computer Corner Service Department.
A pretty good deal, too. Free. How's that? We hope that you'll think of Computer Corner for all your hardware, software, service, and training needs. Until we meet again, mind your bits and bytes. This is Phil.
And Carol.
And Joe.
Wishing you carefree computing. The Computer Corner show is logging off.